great friend of mine. We're becoming fishing brothers. I want to bring up Pastor Ricky Reed.
Amen, amen.
I know he has something to say and share with all of us.
Can I have a hand clap? All right. Well, I'm not going to take up too much time because we spoke out here at least by 12. But there's blessings in obedience.
Amen.
And as a Christian comedian, God used me in a special way. My ministry is Purpose, Power, and Praise World Prison Ministry, or 4pministry.com. I met Mark in 2000, and how we met was a move of God.
Yeah.
Once we understand we have a purpose, and we accept that purpose, then God gives us a vision. And whenever there's clarity of vision, there's an acceleration to the known goal. And what I mean is, if it's raining, it's storming, and you're driving, and you can't see, what do? Pull over. But once it stops raining and you see where you can go, you accelerate to that. So when I understood my purpose and God gave me a vision, I didn't know how to get into prison ministry because I had a series of dreams. And in the dreams, I was sitting, normally when I'm performing, I like to sit in the back and come up front and make a big entrance. And so after 2 dreams, I was coming up, getting on stage, and all I saw was different denomination faces or ethnic group faces, and everyone had on white. But I still didn't know what was it God wanted me to do. The last dream I had, God told me, I want you to go into the prisons. And for me, once I know I hear from God, I don't have time to waste time. I started writing down what my purpose was and started believing and trusting God that He was going to lead someone across my path to have the power, the ability, the influence to help me. So I started thinking, okay, what I need to do. I thought that I need to be put in jail or something. So I was actually thinking about riding through the rich white people neighborhood, breaking in their house, cooking some food, wait for them to come back so I could go to jail. I mean, I know that sounds crazy, but my thinking was, if I just break in the house, I don't kill nobody, I probably get, 6 months or something like that. So I just didn't know. So I went to, I met another Christian comedian. And what he told me was, hey, look, man, we could work together, we could do some things. And it was an event that he could not go to. And now keep in mind, I'm still trying to figure out how can I get into the prison, what do I need to do. And so I met a group, it was called Crossover Ministry, off I-10 and Federal Road. And so they were waiting for me, got into the van. I still didn't know where we were going. And we got to Beaumont, and we pulled up the Mark-style prison. And God said, see, I told you. If it's His will, it's His bill. Yes. He's going to give you direction for your purpose. You just got to believe. Now, there's obedience is better than sacrifice. Many of you have purpose, but you have not stepped into that purpose. You don't want to be like Jonah and forced into doing certain things. I want to encourage you to seek God's face in what to do. There's obedience is better than sacrifice. It reminds me about a kite story I made my first kite when I was probably around 9 years old. And my mom told me, you know, she was going to grocery shopping, and she told me, look, you stay in the house, don't go nowhere. What do y'all think I did? I went outside
and you went somewhere.
with my kite. And as I was going flying, you know, you gotta run and get some speed to get that kite up in the air, right? And I ran into this car, knocked myself out. And next thing I know, I'm kind of waking up, and there's a fire truck, someone called something, and my mom come out. Now she's filled with the Holy Spirit. All she knows is her baby is down there. She said, "Oh, Ricky, you okay? Oh, Lord, please, don't go down. You all right? You sure? Did not take it.
That's how they
Obedience is better than sacrifice.
That's right.
So, I mean, don't be forced unwillingly to do what God calls you to do. Now, after coming from Crockett State School or unit, this guy told me, he said, you know what, I believe you and this other guy work well together. His name is Mark Simeon. You know, he was on death row, and God stepped in, intervened, and spared his life. I said, okay, that sounds like we could work. So he gave me his number. This was in 2000. So I got home and I called, picked up the phone, and I said, hey, this is, my name is Ricky Reed, I'm a prison comedian, and one of the guys at the prison gave me your number and said that, you know, we really believe that we will work well together, and I believe if, you know, I tap what God gave me, my vision, into what you're doing, that we can really do something special. That's when we talked about ex-con to icon, and it's where it is today. This was back in 2000. And so I said, well, just bought a house in Stafford, so how far are you from me? He said, well, I stay in Stafford. I said, well, I stay in Kingsway subdivision, Squires Beard. He said, well, I stay off Kingsway subdivision, Squires Beard. I'm in 103. He said, man, you're about 4 houses down from me. So we stepped outside, and we waved, and we ran and started hugging each other. I'm like, and ever since then, we've been connected, and God has been doing some miraculous things in our life. As a comedian, I could do it by myself. I could tell some jokes. They start laughing. Now I'm one of their friends. Now they're open to hear the word of God. He used comedy like in a sense of like praise and worship. But you know, one of the things that really been on my heart is that behind every man that's obeying God for the call of God on his life, there's a special woman that has to encourage him, that understand the trials and tribulations he's going to for the vision to come to pass. And God created a woman to be a helpmate to a man to help bring out the best in him. And that's why we're blessed, because when we receive the woman that he had for her, and she understands our purpose and understands our plan, then we can accelerate together, because when men are so busy to where we can't hear from God, he has to talk to that woman to go to him and say, baby, look, I understand what you said, but God told me to tell you to do such and such. And when we listen and obey, those things work out. So I want to thank all the women that's here today that have, whether it's a son or a husband or whatever, that he is to you, that you encourage them to go further. So with that said and done, I was just thinking, what can I do to really express my love, my compassion, and help Mark to understand how much it really meant to me. So God gave me an idea. And so the idea was you have to honor the woman that's behind the man. So Sarita, would you come up, please? See, this is a surprise. Now, it's a baby. You don't need him. You don't need him right now. Now, she can step outside with him if you start crying. Moses cried in the wilderness. He gonna do it too. So come up here, sweetie. I love you. Whatever you do not take shrimp fried rice from this woman. That's a big stove. Come over here. Come in. Got something for you. Mark, come over here too. This is your wife.
Amen.
Now,
Amen.
I have an award for you. This is an award because when we go into the prisons, sometimes we go alone, and the enemy can easily manipulate your mind, manipulate your thinking, make you think he's going to see someone else or doing something different. And the next level we're going to, God really needs you to be more patient with him and trust him even more. Because you're going to be able to live in the best, eat the best, drive the best, and go first class in life. But to do that, he needs you, and he needs to know that you're going to continue to have his back the way you always have. Okay? So, Mr. Baltimore,
With our greatest appreciation, we hereby present Sarita Simmons for your unwavering support and unrelenting guidance for help needed ex-con to icon prison ministry to succeed. You are being honored with much appreciation and gratitude. It is from our brother. Presented by Pastor Reed Senior.
that's 4 people.
4 people.
Now, take it out so you can show everybody.
I don't want to put my steward's hands on it.
It's okay. We have a Windex.
They got Windex.
Okay. That's for you, dear. Every day that you wake up, and he tell you, baby, I'm going here, I'm going there. You know if he's with me, he's with Baltimore, or whatever it is he needs to go. Or even Deshaun. You must have the confidence that God has confidence in you to trust you to be his wife and for him to be your man to lead and guide you to where he wants to take you to the next level. So I want you to know I love you, I appreciate you. It was something I just had to do because even you women out there that's going into the prisons, this is your ministry going to another level. And you have to trust God because he's raising up somebody somewhere that has the power, the ability, and the influence to help you. You've got to have the confidence, and God having confidence in you for him to give you the vision, give you the dreams to do what he needs to do in this country.
Thank you.
So, we love you, appreciate you. Do your thing. Oh. You already have a grandbaby, so you don't need that.
Let's take a picture.
I thought I was gonna make us cry. You no more good. You got Louisiana talk. You no more good.
It's a nice one.
All right. Now for the men, the very first time I came here, there were several men that God put in my heart to do something for. Now, there was a group of us we talked, and we agreed to be called mentors of men. I wrote down your names and phone numbers. I got my email yesterday because these rings, they're gonna be getting a ring like this. That's right, brother, your ring's coming. It was shipped Friday. It's coming from overseas, so it'll probably take another week or so to get here. The purpose of this ring, guys, is to help. It's nothing special about it. It's not going to turn you into a genie or nothing like that. When you're down, feeling discouraged, just look at that ring because you're a champion. You must have that champion in that time.
Oh,
When
yeah.
you look at that ring, remember that God is the source of your supply.
Yeah.
Remember that He raised you up to be a mentor of men.
Amen.
God bless you, and thank you for coming.
Amen. It's been good.